Good morning. How many of you have been to a desert? This is the opposite of a desert because it's full of water. A desert is dry, it's dusty, not many things are living there, it looks dead. Reminds me of the story of Joseph, Genesis 39, later if you read. Joseph was a favorite son, but his life did not did not seem as if he was a favorite son. His brothers sold him into slavery, and just while things were looking up for him, he was accused by Potiphar's wife. And later on, we see that he never gave up. His integrity stood out for him. Joseph's story is just as a reminder for us that God is always there in every situation that we are in. It might not look that way. Everybody gives this encouragement and says, God is there with you, you're not alone. But once you're in it, it never feels as if God is there with you. But the story of Joseph encourages us that we are never alone. We should always be a people of integrity, because that will always stand out for us. Your work of integrity will always stand out for you. And third, we should always turn everything that we go through into thanksgiving. Just live our life full of gratitude, full of praise, because we know that God turns our sorrows into praises. He inhabits in the praises of his people. And another reminder is just the verse in Hosea chapter 2, verse 14, where it says, I will allure her. This is me paraphrasing. I will allure her into the desert. And alluring means persuading. We will be called out into the desert. I will allure her into the desert, and there I will speak tenderly to her. It goes on to say, the valley of Acre will be turned into a door of hope. If you look up the meaning of Acre, it means a place of trouble, a place of death, a place which has no hope. But now we are being promised to be allured into the desert. Being persuaded into the desert in the wilderness is not a nice place. But God knows that when we are in the wilderness, when everything is dead, our focus is on Him. There are no distractions. It's just us in the wilderness, and our focus, He gets our attention. Because sometimes when everything is looking out for us, we always forget that God is also there, but once everything has been stripped off, that's when we remember that, we have to look up to God. So in the wilderness, when you are in the wilderness, dry, lonely, thirsty, let's remember that in those dry seasons, the Lord is whispering, and we have to be keen on His voice. We have to ask the Holy Spirit to help us recognize the voice of the Lord, because the enemy also comes and tries to fill us with his voices, fill us with his lies, which he thinks they are truth. But we need to fill our hearts with the voice of the Holy Spirit, which will nudge us to really discern the voice of the Lord. So as God allures you into the wilderness where He wants to tenderly speak to you, I pray that you will listen, you will recognize His voice, just as the sheep recognize the voice of the shepherd, because He's there with you. Don't lose your integrity in everything that you're doing, and always turn your sorrows into triumphs. And I know we cannot do it by our own strength, because how do you ask a person to turn all the challenges they're having, whether it's all the challenges that we face, how do you expect them to turn them into triumph? But we can only do that with the Holy Spirit, because He's our helper. And Jesus knew we cannot do it without Him. So He asked us to rely on the Holy Spirit. So as you wait for all that you're waiting for, as you are in the desert, waiting to hear that tender voice, I pray that you hear Him, you discern that voice, and you walk in the confidence that He is there with you no matter what you're facing. And let the story of Joseph encourage you, because let your integrity stand out. Have a beautiful day. God bless you.